What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode here at Kibbetech. We took a few weeks off of YouTube, end of the year, beginning of the year, a lot going on. Yeah, we'll just dive right in, show you what we got going on in the shop.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Kibbetech.
This is Chase's ruler. He has all these hash marks next to 3.5. I wonder why. All right, so we got Shane over here on our press brake. We're, our new press brake that we got 6 months ago or so. You look there on the screen, it shows you the part that you're bending and which bend you're on. A lot easier than measuring this stuff out and setting up the old school machine to do it that way. We're still kind of learning little tricks and things with this machine and dialing it in with different tooling, every different size material and different radius bends. It all requires different tooling, just like the CNC mill and lathe and all that. We got just a ton of tooling for it. Yeah, right now we're making a bunch of lower control arms for our 2020 plus 2500 long travel kit. So right here we got a bunch of the lower arm plates all laid out. We're still working on some organization as far as racks and different carts. We're probably just going to draw something up and cut something on the laser, something with wheels or something easier to hold all this stuff, because obviously we got parts all over the place. So we're making 20 different long travel kits right now. Yeah, a lot of laser cutting going on, a lot of prepping and bending over here. Some tubes go with it. We got fixtures to build some of the parts. We got a bunch of tooling stacked up over there. And then in between all the parts, we'll throw in a bunch of just weld washers and stuff, which we'll probably add to the website, sell these. Just trying to maximize all the material, because the material is really expensive right now. So in between each part, we'll just try to nest a bunch of standard tabs that we use a lot of. A lot of press braking and laser cutting going on right now. And then we got some more over here, actually. So these are some parts for our center mount lower arms. And there's another set of center mount lower arms over there for another project that we will tell you about later. Some of the tubes for the engine cage kits for the 2500 shock mounts. These are the plate shock mounts for the 2500s as well. So you just get a bunch of bends and they locate the upper arm and the shock and the limit strap tab. So it's all just kind of built into one. So it takes out a lot of the guesswork for you guys that will install these at your house or another shop installs it. And we got Miles working on a bunch of the parts over here. We'll check that out. What are you working on? They scare you?
A little bit.
Shock mounts, like the same ones that I have on my daily driver on the Bugatti Max, our 2500 rear shock mount relocation kit. Yeah, we were out of these, so we figured we would just whip up 10 sets of these. So getting these together real quick, and then he will jump back on our spindles. So these are the start spindles for this particular one is actually 11 and 19 Chevy 2500. All chromoly, all TIG welded, all these outside welds and all the welds on this big billet faceplate, all double pass. And then the ones that were cut out over there for the 2020 plus. So there's a little difference right here for ABS sensor. So that's just the only difference between those and the caliper tab. The new trucks have a 4-bolt and the 11 and 19 have a 2-bolt. And then we machined a bunch of billet tabs for the bottom here. So the bottom actually does get a 3/4 thick billet tab for the uniball on the bottom, and then it gets boxed into that. So our new kit runs vertical upper and lower uniballs. We got better packaging from the lower arm center line to the axle center line with running them vertical. So we redesigned everything for that. Yeah, just lining up a bunch of these right now. These ones are root passed, and this is before prep. So this is just a big, hot root pass. We'll come back in, we'll prep all of this, and then we'll do a cover pass on it. That's what it'll look like at first, and then it'll come back and it'll look like these. So you can see a big difference there. And then we're also making all the uniball cups for these now, which I'll go grab those right now. All right, so yeah, uniball cups. So we use, these are pretty much the only 3 that we use. So these are the only 3 that we're gonna make. And we do sell these on our website. And these go on all the lower arms for the inner chassis side frame pivot. So like our coilover conversion kit, we use a Delrin bushing there to try to keep that kit cost down. But for the long travel kits, we use a 1-inch uniball on the inner pivots, and that is this cup. It's a 2 5/8 outer diameter with a 2.5-inch basically stack height on it. So it's 2.5 inches wide this way. And then upper uniball for the spindle for like, you know, for this one here. This is 1 5/8 tall this way, 2 5/8 outer diameter. These are 4130, they're not DOM or mild, so these are 4130. And then this is a 3.5 by 1 3/4 tall for the 1.5 uniball for like a COMH 24 from FK. So these go on all the lower arms for like the outer uniball to the spindle. We now make these. I've been buying these for like 20 years and finally make our own, so pretty cool. Let's go see what everyone else is up to. Back over here on Eric's F150, not a Raptor. We'll make Evan talk about it.
What are we talking about? So we already had the bed cage made, so now we were working on a spare tire mount. So we got the lower assembly or tube structure done. I got that welded. Spare tire mounts are done. Obviously the sway bars kick up higher than the bed allows, so we had to make clearance for those. So once we did that, I made sure that the tires had extra clearance for possible deflection and articulation, so we clearanced that as well. Made filler panels for both of those, as well as, if you want to look over here, there's the third member, or the pumpkin assembly, I don't know, axle, needed clearance as well for the up travel. So we made a notch for that, and made a cover plate that needs to get welded in and finished. After that, we're going to take all this apart, do the final welding underneath, and I think powder coat for some of it, so making progress.
If you remember these, we make these, and these are for, get a little example for you. Goes on there, doesn't come off, and that will hold your spare tire. So obviously we got 2 more in there, so you use our Y-strap we sell, and you just hook this on, and that's how easy it comes off. So when your spare tires are not in, you just take this off and put it away. And we actually will send this truck out with 2 different Y-straps. We'll have one set up for the single spare, and we'll set up another one for the double spare. So if he wants to run 1 or 2, he can just switch out the strap, add a tire, take away a tire, whichever he's doing, and then make it very universal and user friendly, because you don't need to drive around town with the tires sticking out of the bed. So, and then we couldn't drop into the bed because we got fuel cell under there, and we didn't want 2 vertical tires because I just don't like that at all. Yeah, Dewey's working on the bedside mounts right now. We're gonna add some bedside kicker supports into here to keep this thing from moving around. We added some plates in here because he has like a, an air tank or a jack handles, a shovel, anything that he's gonna wanna add or bolt to the bed for when he's out using it. He didn't just wanna bolt it to thin sheet metal, so we added this 1/8 inch plate in here, stitch welded it in, so whenever he wants to add something in here, you could drill through and you actually get to something solid that will not just rip holes in the bed. And we tied it into the pillar right here as well, so it really like beefed up this bed. Pretty good progress. Next time we'll show you this, we'll probably show you with the bed off and all that. So you'll see what Chase is up to. All right, so back over here, the Blur is back. It came back from Fiberworks to get their end handled, but here it is, looking pretty good. What are you working on?
I'm just finishing up all the interior welding that I didn't get to when the motor was in, and getting it ready to go to paint. And yeah, just finishing it up. Riveting material you got there. They can't even see it. They can't even see it. It's a big blur.
Yeah, we got Oscar back there working on bedsides. Chase is getting everything welded out in here and finished because we left the motor in before when it left. So now that the motor's out, we can get back in there and finish everything. Did like a test run, pulling the motor in and out, transfer case in and out. So that's all dialed now. And then once we're done with these few things, it'll go to Kevin at Pacific Coast Powder, and they will actually be coating the whole thing in gray steel it. So yeah, we won't be finishing this thing to a runner. So yeah, we actually don't have that much left to do on it, but we still can't show you. So enjoy the blur.
You don't have pants on.
What are you working on?
I'm grinding.
Tell them.
Grinding.
Tell them who you are. Don't you just tell them to find you on Grindin'? I thought it was Grinder. Tell them who you are and what you do.
I'm Horacio, and I'm just
I still can't say that right. I keep wanting to say Horatio, like CSI Miami. But yeah, he's prepping the spindles for Miles over there, so Miles can keep welding. He's getting them all prepped, ready for double pass. But yeah, so if you notice, that big tall guy with all the hand tattoos isn't here anymore. He moved to Texas. So Ryan moved to Texas, and then, you know, so a spot opened up and he jumped on it. I think you tried to get a job here, what, like 5 times? So yeah, we finally got a spot for him, so excited to have him on board. All right, back here on the D90, we got the engine back from Maruzzi. So it's a, I want to see, it's a 418 LS3 stroker, and obviously you see the big whipple up there. So this thing will produce about 1,000 horsepower at the crank. We got our 8-to-1 back bolted up. We got water lines started up here. Next up, we're gonna put the bigger cable drive Holley throttle body on it, and then do like a split intake, and then probably mount the filters somewhere under these little fender openings right here, and we'll laser cut some like mesh for this or something. And then we're just kind of getting all the stuff buttoned up here that we need to do before we can take this thing back apart. So all the little tedious things, water lines, you know, intercooler lines, intercooler pump mount, tanks, surge tanks, just a bunch of stuff going on. So get the dry sump in here, get the oil coolers mounted, power steering coolers, power steering reservoir, get the steering buttoned up. So it's like, you know, they say the last 10% takes 90% of the time. But we're making good progress, got everything in there. Can't wait to just hear this thing fire up. So a lot of the Motec stuff started showing up, so we're good there. Yeah, this thing will be all Motec ECU, Motec 12-inch dash, so a bunch of cool parts in this thing. Excited to get this one to the next point. All right, back over here in the machine shop. Still got these trailing arms, and they're about 50% done. We showed you these ones before, but didn't really like the way our last op fixture kind of holds them. So we redesigned all the fixtures, and we got some more material come in that will make it a lot easier for us to make these trailing arms, because we have a lot to do. I got another set of the 60-inch trophy truck ones to do, and then a one-off set for a trophy truck team, and then another set for the guys at High Performance Helicopters. And so we're just kind of redesigning our fixtures to make it easier to make these things. We've got so many to do. So like, this is a part for the new fixture. So basically this will bolt into a big plate like this. Then this will get the ID clamps like we use on a lot of our other parts, and that'll hold like each end of the trailing arm. And then it'll be able to index easily on the table to where we're not trying to dial in this part to where we don't see the blend line, which you can't see it on that part, but it's just, it takes a lot of time to get to that point. So we're just trying to increase efficiency. So another, you know, $2,000–3,000 in some fixtures that we're gonna make, and then be able to make those trailing arms a little easier. And then over here, we got something pretty cool for you Raptor guys. So this is like the main heart of the long travel kit right here. So it's a all 70/75 billet upright, and this is a 4-wheel drive kit. See, it's got vertical lower, vertical upper uniballs, and this will have stainless inserts on all of the pivot points. So steering and the lower will have stainless inserts, and then the caliper bracket we did not build it around the OEM caliper spec. So this is like a 6-inch spread bracket that you'll be able to make adapter brackets for whatever brake package you want to run. You know, we'll have ones for Brembo, Willwood, and just, you know, our standard kit for this will be the bracket to go to the Willwood brakes. And then we got the other one of this in the machine for op 2. So this was op 1 right here. So that's all done in one op. And then over here, we got op 2 going. Obviously this is just all rough right now. So that's like a roughing pass. And then go back in and start doing the cleanup passes and start pocketing out the backside in here and getting this pocketed out. Pretty excited about that. I knew when I wanted to make a long travel kit for the Raptor, it had to be something completely different because everyone kind of does the same, you know, boring stuff for those things. So we wanted to do something just kind of next level for a bolt-on truck, you know, a machined 70-75 billet upright on a truck with a stock frame is just pretty ridiculous. I figured that was the perfect way to go. Yeah, next time you see these, they'll all be done. So see you next time.